Hello and welcome. My name is Eric Farewell, and welcome to the Aviator, or Ask Aviator, Ask Aviator podcast. This is episode number 30. Super stoked to have a very old friend on the show today, as well as some newer friends. We've got lots of great things to talk about. But full disclosure to start things off, I spent my entire day today in bed. I missed meetings. I don't feel great. So if I am coughing up a lung, I do apologize. I'm getting better, I think. It's been this long process, so my apologies. Moosey, good to see you. Eric Sheridan, Charlie Walsh, Woody's Gamer Tag, great to see you as well. Always nice to see all the people back in the chat. We got a great group today. We are going to be answering your questions, but more than that, we're going to be talking about some of the behind-the-scenes stuff that you guys would not normally hear about from myself and my esteemed guest, who is the first paramotor YouTuber to have over 1 million followers. Super stoked about that. He's been crushing it. James Stumpf, great to see you. Justin Jutkins, Queen Bee, Mike Brennan, and Patrick Ryan. You're right, Eric. I do feel like I'm always sick. I haven't been sick in like 7 months, and now today of all days. So I've been trying to take care of myself. Robert Durbin, great to have you. Craig Taylor, pleasure indeed. For all of you guys watching right now, if you're one of our past students and you haven't seen it yet, we are doing Thanksgiving right here. So if you want to join us for Thanksgiving, send me a message. We'd love to have you guys. We're blessed to have these incredible people here learning to fly this week, and we're excited to be able to share some family time with them. So Blaze asks, are you sick because Nell is already a better pilot than you? If you have to ask, you already know the answer. And this girl, guys, you've got to see how she's flying. It is absolutely insane, absolutely incredible. So she and I got to fly last night for the first time together. She absolutely crushed her launches, both of them, crushed her landings. Really cool to watch. Jorge George, good to see you, my friend. Mike R., Peter Ciesla, Bob Garber, Brian Pearson. Isn't humidity supposed to be good for colds? I don't know. All I know is it got cold. It's been cold, and everybody here somehow got sick. So I was avoiding it very well, and then all of a sudden I didn't feel great, and that was Friday. All right, so we're going to restart the chat really quick so we can keep up with you guys. There's a few comments coming in that we're missing, and I'm missing my guests. This is the problem when you bring guests on for the pre-show. They think the show's over and leave. So hopefully John went to find them. I have the most important guest. He's still in the room, but I don't want to reveal who he is yet. I feel like that would be, The one wheel? Yes, the one wheel is the most important guest. It's actually true. So it's funny. So the gentleman who's going to be the guest, he got to ride one of these this week, and we had to stop him. We're like, dude, you're going to die. Like, he's so ridiculously talented. He's one of the annoying people who just is good at things. I'm not one of those people, so I actually generally try to survive a little harder than most. Yeah, they said they're flying. It's actually dark out, guys. It's freaking wintertime now. It's just weird. We start the show at 6 p.m. Eastern, and normally that precludes flying for the evening. But sadly, in this case, it's no longer bright out. So John is the most important guest ever. That's definitely true. So guys, I want to thank each of you all for being here. I'm going to answer a few questions before we get started with our guest. Brian Pearson asks, is the Pint as fun as the others? Yes. So the Pint is my favorite hangar rip-it machine. I prefer my XR for pretty much everything else, but inside the hangar, because it's got the smaller tire, it's ridiculously fun to have inside the hangar. It's just really, really entertaining. Kyle Daniels, good to see you, my friend. Tablecloth is centered this week. Thank you, William. I still say I was dying inside the whole time I watched it not centered, but, we're grateful that you're here. So without further ado, I'm going to bring our guest on the show. You guys saw him in the pre-show, but I want to give a little backstory once he gets here. So that means that's you, Tucker. You can't hide. He literally is trying to hide behind the computer right now, guys. This is just sad. You just go this way. Go around the table. Around the backside. Da, 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 da. You like it? That's pretty solid.
That was a solid entrance.
That's a solid. I feel like you need more Risky Biscuits Co. swag on.
I know.
You only have 2 items. Are you wearing the underwear?
I got the underwear on.
Okay,
the
good.
official.
Socks?
It's only exclusive to me though.
The official exclusive. So Tucker just hit 1 million subscribers on YouTube. I'm proud of the fact that I was either your 31st or 36th.
That's epic.
Which is pretty cool. And I followed you, I think, before you came to train.
Really?
You had, I think, maybe 6 or 7 videos up. with your tricopters and shenanigans.
Those were the days.
Those were the days. Those were the fun days. Those are the days before wings that shall not be named tried to kill you.
Right.
Those are the days before the whole world told you didn't know how to launch.
Right.
Those are the days before you flew to some restaurant my father's never eaten at.
Burger King? Or
yeah, Burger King or KFC or something. But it's been a while. I mean, the reality is you and I have been friends. How old are you now?
24.
24. So you had not quite turned 18 when you reached out to me.
Yeah, it was between high school and college that summer.
And you reached out and were like, I want to fly a paramotor.
Indeed.
And I was like, dope, I do that now. I've been doing it for 2 years at that point. And you came down. We met at Oshkosh.
Yeah. I kited my first wing.
Yes. And I still think that's one of my favorite lines in the whole Road to AirVenture documentary.
Yeah.
For those guys who haven't seen it, it's available free on YouTube. You should watch it. It's a... your mom says you got a package from YouTube today.
No way.
What?
Wait, it came already?
It came already?
I thought like they normally take months.
I thought they take months, yeah.
What? Wait, I gotta get it shipped to somewhere we can pick up.
So why don't we just overnight that here and Aviator will hold on to it?
I don't know about that.
It's cool. Based upon this show, we're going to have our million sub plaque very soon.
Boom.
Yeah, it's going to be us and Joe Rogan are going to be crushing the
head to head.
That's the one.
I thought you already exceeded him.
I mean, in flight time, I think I have him beat, but everything else, I think he has me beat. Yeah. So going back to the documentary, we're at Oshkosh. This is 2013. 13.
Yeah.
And in the documentary, this is before we went and got to fly at Oshkosh with Paradigm.
For real.
Tucker was like, I got to fly at Oshkosh because I was pushing him into the sky kiting.
Yeah.
And I love that visual because it really, and I didn't preface any of this or brief you on any of this stuff, but what I want to talk to you about tonight is not so much what you've talked about on every other podcast. Mm-hmm. I want to kind of dive into more of the nuts and bolts of what makes you do this, because I believe that we each have different callings. We each have different things that drive us in life. And you don't make YouTube videos because you love McDonald's and paramotors. You do it for a higher calling. You have a deeper purpose behind what you do. And I'd love to share some of that with you, or with the community at large, because I mean, that's why Aviator was founded. It was never about creating the biggest school. It was about creating the best location that tries to inspire people to overcome their fears through flight, right? So I want to talk some about that stuff, but we've got a ton of people in the chat. This is officially our biggest live viewing, which is thank you very much for being popular and stuff. You didn't even talk about it on Instagram, did you?
I think I made an informal post.
Aw. Promo. I just love the guy who's like, who's the guest? My name is Eric. If you guys don't know me. I taught this guy how to fly once a long time ago, and if you watch his videos and you happen to catch about 7 videos ago where he talks about all the things he didn't learn at class, I'm the one who didn't teach him those things. We do teach those things now, I'm pretty sure.
Upgrade.
So. David Wolf says, finally a decent show with Tucker Gott. I'm not sure if that's a cut at us or a cut at other shows.
I don't hear you.
I don't know. Jeez, David. Jeez. All right, so you're 24. You saw a paramotor on the internet.
Mm-hmm. On
How
YouTube.
old were you?
I wish it was middle school, at least. Like, I was into RC airplanes, and I guess watching videos about that led to paramotors on YouTube. And it was just always something in the back of my mind. I have this really cool poster I made when I was in middle school.
Bruh.
And, I also have a notebook drawing that was like the school, and it was like a paramotor above it.
So if those aren't T-shirts by the end of this podcast, I'm going to be really disappointed.
The first hint of paramotorism.
I mean, like, really, it's like if you look at sandstone drawings from cavemen, like this could be the caveman.
It's very.
It needs to happen.
The skill level was not there yet.
It will be my first Tucker Gott shirt.
Yes.
I've never bought one.
I gotta hook you up.
Well, how many Aviator shirts do you have? How many Paradigm shirts do you have?
So many.
Yeah, I don't have a single one. I am eventually going to steal one of your designs because I love it so much.
Which one's that?
Actually, you have 2 of them that I really like now. The kind of sunset feeling one. It looks kind of 70s. He's not wearing it right now. Yesterday, the one that Derek was wearing.
Yeah.
That one comes with free training.
Yes.
He says. So that one, and then I love the Paramotor Words one, which I already have a design ripped to make that, and you came out with yours. I was like, dang it, I can't do that yet. Sucks.
Such a good idea, though.
Too pretty. So David Wolf says that he's ripping on his own show. He was on the Paramotor Nation 2 weeks ago. He likes ours better. David, you got to come get on ours as well, man. Jeez, man. Jeez. Let's see. Tucker Kim is a bit too light. White balance. All right. See, this is good. We're learning things. So, all right. 24 years old. When you're in middle school, you discover paramotoring. Most people, and we're gonna get into like more of human beings than we are about paramotors in this show today. Mm-hmm. Most people, if they're in middle school, they see a paramotor, they think to themselves, well, I could never afford that. My parents will never let me do that. Whatever the excuse is, they become a victim. They choose to live their life as a victim rather than to find a way to become the victor, right? And I see it all the time. There's guys that are in the chat right now who have done this, who have experienced some trauma in their life, some challenge, and instead of finding a way to overcome it, they give up. Mm-hmm. You were different. And I've told your story in front of millions of people over and over again at air shows all over the country. Let's say you're 13, 14. You see a paramotor. You start drawing some really awkward.
Right.
I swear to God, you have to make this a T-shirt. It could be a special edition. You can only release 10 of them. You got to put mom on the back. I want one. All right.
Mom on the back.
That's
just
right.
For you.
That's right. And your mom and I can share the same shirt. It's fine. He calls me mom, by the way. Sorry, the whole Paradigm team calls me mom, because I basically am mom.
Yeah.
So talk about what you did at 14 or 13 that allowed you to 5 years later join the flying family.
Well, at that early stage, I knew it was like prior to being 15. Like that was when I envisioned starting flight lessons. I just did a lot with RC planes because that was more accessible, and it was a ton of fun. And I feel like anything you do in flight, it builds understanding, and some way or another, it's going to help you. And it was a really good hobby at that age. Then when I turned 15, I had done a lot of stuff with the local airport, doing camps and all that. I was super fortunate at the time. My parents were willing to put me through flight lessons, and that was the first step. Going through getting my private pilot's license.
Well, because you have your family it's like mine. Like my family, my grandfather was a pilot in World War II.
Right.
My mom soloed on her 16th birthday. My grandmother was a pilot. My uncle's a pilot. My cousins are all pilots. You have a very similar story.
Yeah, so my grandfather was the first big inspiration. He had his private pilot's license when he was a lot younger, flew a lot at the airport that I learned to fly at. So it was the local heritage, and he was the one that introduced me to the airport and told me all the flying stories of back in the good old days and barnstorming and the like. And my mom is a commercial hot air balloon pilot, so that was some of my first experiences in flight, going up in her hot air balloon.
Well, and she kind of, I would imagine she helped express to you conditions better. Like, hey, we love flying, but it's blowing more than 3, so we're not.
Yeah, for sure.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, a lot
so
of wisdom.
At 15, you decided you're taking your private pilot lessons. Mm-hmm. What made you decide you still wanted to go down the paramotor route?
It was just always, I don't know. It was what I kind of envisioned flying to be like, the convenience and everything. But at the time, it seemed logical to get my private pilot's license, and I went through with that. And around the same time, I was old enough to start working at the skydive drop zone. So I'd been at this airport for a while, and a skydiving operation moved in. The first year, I just kind of watched from afar, and I was picking weeds for the airport owner and that kind of thing, right. Watching the parachutes come down. I was like, oh, that's pretty neat. And eventually the airport owner, Linda, introduced me to the skydive guys, and it was around the right time to get a real job and not just picking weeds. So I started working at the skydive operation, first just driving the golf cart, giving the people their tandem waivers and putting the harnesses on and that stuff. I did that for a year, and then I got upgraded to parachute packing. And you have an opportunity to make a little bit more money as a parachute packer.
Right.
It's hard work.
Hard work.
It's horrible.
Brutal.
Yeah, very physical, long days, hot days.
Yep.
But working, I think I did like 2 years of that. I had saved up enough to do training by the time I was 18.
And so you called me.
Yeah, and I was going to say, there's a funny picture way back in my Instagram when it was coming to the end of the summer, and I knew I was starting college soon, and I was like, I've saved up enough. I really want to just bite the bullet and do it. So I started researching, looking around, and that I eventually found you. And I remember going to the bank, and I took out like $8,000 cash to pay for everything, and I like spread it out and took a picture, and it was like, this is my milestone. I'm going through with it. I worked for it, and I was jumping in to buy all the gear and the training and everything, and that was kind of the turning point.
And this is, I mean, there's some stories here that have never really been shared. Remember that time in your training where I almost got arrested?
Which one?
Treasure Island.
Treasure Island.
We went over there.
Oh, yeah.
We rode in the Studmobile, the Subaru Forester of Doom, and we got over there. We listened to like really awesome indie electronica the whole way. This guy has excellent music taste, by the way. And then we get to the beach, and this is where I used to train all the time. So I pull out the wings. He's kiting. I take off and fly. It's awesome. Come back, and the cops are there. They're like, yeah, so just so you know, it's illegal to fly here now, and if you do it again.
I was thinking about, I don't know. I don't think it was training. I feel like it was when I came back. Remember when we tried to do that ridge soaring mission?
Oh my God. Yeah, so that...
You can handle how much you want to explain about that.
So there's a video. It's on my channel.
I forgot it was on video.
If you guys want to see, very legal, absolutely nothing
100%.
illegal about it. There's zero no trespassing signs. There's zero illusion of necessity for them because there's no fence where we were. But if there were a fence, that fence would have barbed wire on it, and it would be across the alley from the police shooting range. But Tucker and I are like, hey, let's have some. This is probably January, I think, something like that, December, January, because you trained. You trained in August, and then you came back that winter, and we wanted to go free flying. It was blowing like 25 miles an hour, and so we went and found a way to go free flying on this hill, and it was sick. And I almost died a little bit because it was rowdy as crap.
It was way above my skill level. So
it was above my skill level. It was. I should not have done what I did, but it was really fun, and it was one of those experiences where, like, if you look at it through the lens, it's. I believe we're past the timeline where we have to worry about being illegal. Actually.
Oh yeah, statute of limitations.
Yeah, statute of limitations is probably good. It's been over 5 years. Let me text my attorney. But you look at Tucker's face, like young 18-year-old Tucker, and he's in the camera, and we're like, "How's it going, Tucker?" He's like, "Great."
I need to go back and watch that because I almost forgot that was even a thing.
It's a good video. It was pretty solid. So if you guys want to see that, I imagine Nina could probably find it. It's a video that's titled something like "Free Flying in Florida." Hi, John. All right. So you got a job. You worked your butt off after school. You came and learned to fly. How was your experience learning to fly?
It was great. It was. I wish I had filmed it.
I do too.
I'd love to like relive all those moments. But
my favorite part, I think. Obviously, you came when I was very new to this. I trained maybe 30 people at that point,
right?
20, 30 people. And I'd been flying and teaching people to fly for a long time, but I hadn't been teaching paramotors. And just type in Aviator show. Yeah, let's see. There it is, top one. Secret Florida free flying. Too much fun. We'll put the link in there right now, guys. So the reality was like I still felt new. You came in and you showed me, like, I was always trying to figure out who the best people were as far as like who was good at learning. And at that point, the people who I'd found to be best were helicopter pilots and pilots who had experience with crane operation because they could catch the load. Right. You taught me that the people who are the best to teach are people who have RC airplane experience because they get the balance of flying the wing back toward themselves, right?
Reverse cross control.
And then you taught me, so that was one of the fun things for me. Like, you know, this is so many years ago. You were my only student at the time. There wasn't like a huge class. It took a lot longer. Yeah. I think you flew day 8, day 5, something like that. I don't remember. It was a ways in.
Yeah.
We used to kite a lot more. We used to, and we didn't tow. We didn't have tandems. I remember that day it was foggy, And we were out here at the airport, and they had a big, huge mound of dirt where now we do a lot of our towing and kiting and stuff. And I look in the back of your car, and he's got this balsa wood and carbon fiber glider.
Yes. I had to throw it in there just to bring it down for the trip. Like I loved RC stuff so much at that time.
And so my entire RC experience up to that point had been being 8 years old, taking my uncle's RC airplane off at the chalet and crashing it to the side of the hangar. 8 seconds later, totaled.
I don't know if I knew that at the time.
Yeah, no, you definitely didn't know that at the time. So he hands me the controls, and I'm like, okay, cool. And so it was actually really fun. I still want one. I need to find one.
You rocked it, and that's not an easy plane to fly.
The best part was that it's called a discus glider, so it's built with this carbon fiber spar that goes inside, and you have two fingers, and you literally throw it like a discus, and it flies up really high. Mm-hmm. And it was flying into the mist. We couldn't see it, and then it would appear out of the mist. It was like, oh crap! And then we tried to ridge somewhere along the hill or try to catch it. And that was the first introduction. It was way before I started hanging out with flight test guys and everything else. It was really a great reintroduction to RC and just the joy of it, because we spent hours to the point where I told my wife, I was like, my shoulder hurts so bad.
It messes you up.
It really does.
It's so fun, though. It's addicting.
Yeah, so I need to buy one of those. Please, if you don't mind, let me know what to buy.
I still have that one.
You want to sell it?
Potentially.
You want to trade it for a T-shirt?
Ooh, there we go. That's a hot deal.
It's a hot deal. So I want to fast forward a little bit. So you put in the work. Mm-hmm. You put in the work to actually achieve your dreams. You didn't let anyone tell you no. You didn't let anyone tell you that it was something that was impossible or not right for a kid or anything else. You attacked it and accomplished it. And I think that tenacity is a part of what makes people like you. It was what makes 1 million people follow your life on a daily basis, which is incredible. But there's more to you than that. There's a piece of your soul that I don't know if you feel guilty for getting to do so many cool things, or if you feel like you have for me, it's a feeling like I have a responsibility to encourage others. Mm-hmm. Because I've not died the many times I should have, because I've been given the gifts I've been given to fly, to entertain, whatever. I feel like I have a responsibility to encourage others to grow. And you started doing it right after training. You went and you had this little YouTube channel and you started filming.
Yeah. And
your videos were great and they were informative, and all of a sudden something happened and people started taking notice.
Yeah.
Talk me through what you feel like. What is it that makes you feel that necessity?
I feel like a lot of it just comes from experiencing it myself and realizing how influential it was in my life. Backing up just a little bit, when I had gone into college, I've talked about this a few times, I went to Rowan for electrical engineering. And at that time, I was just kind of like, that's what everyone else says I should do. I had good grades, and they said, you should do engineering. So that's what I was doing. And I realized very quickly that was not the path for me. I was doing okay in the classes, but I was not enjoying any moment of it. And like I said, I had just gotten into paramotoring that summer.
And you flew so much. I don't know how you flew as much as you flew, like 160 hours your first 4 months in the winter.
Yeah, I was going back every weekend. I had my car, because I didn't have parking at the school. I had it down the street in a storage facility with like a gate. I had to hop over the gate to get in, and then I had to drive the car up to the gate to hit the motion sensor to get out. So I'd ride my bike like a mile or so down the road, get the car, drive home on the weekend, fly morning, evening as much as I can, and then get back to school on Monday to fly some more or to do schoolwork. But at that time, that was like, I was in for engineering, and I realized I really didn't want to take that path. Meanwhile, in the background, I had paramotoring.
Right.
And it was just kind of clicking in my mind that like life is short and you need to do what makes you happy to a degree. And that's how I started to kind of transition off of that track of engineering. So it was really influential in my life. And I think a lot of that transfers into just sharing it with other people. That's what the whole basis of YouTube videos is inspiring people.
Right. Either to do good or do bad things, And I loved, you and I kind of built a friendship very quickly because obviously I really cared a lot about your ability to fly. You were talented, but I was always concerned that you'd get cocky and overconfident. And then in the space of a very short timeline, you and I experienced a lot of big moments together.
Right.
From hashtag not breaking and entering to you were there when I broke my back.
Mm-hmm.
Tucker comes flying through the woods in the video and
Freaking out.
Yeah. You were awesome. You were calm. I had already called like everybody I needed to call, and
Yeah.
or I guess maybe I hadn't yet by the time you got there. I don't know. Probably had the phone in my hand. I know I was still in the harness trying to get out.
I remember that.
And so we got to share a lot of these experiences, and then you kept coming back. And one of my favorite memories that is I don't think you made a video of it. You may have. It was you and I, Trey.
Thermaling? Yeah.
Did you make a video of that one?
I think it was just part of a musical montage. That wasn't.
Was one of the best days of thermaling.
Yeah.
I was teaching a thermaling clinic last weekend, or 2 weeks ago, and I was replaying that because I was like, I'm giving the same speech. Like, okay, you don't want to climb too fast. You want to be aware. You want to make sure you have the danger zones. And you and I and Trey, and I can't remember who else. I know my brother James was there because he ended up landing way out. Remember, like 3 miles past the lake. And man, we had so many great memories together. And then your fame, I mean, realistically, it shocked everyone. I imagine it must have shocked you a little bit to go from 300 subscribers to 30,000.
Yeah.
And then I remember you went to Iceland, and as you're in Iceland, me being your mom and your biggest fan, I've watched every part of your journey, and boom, 60,000, 80,000, 90,000, 100,000. It was just
yeah.
What was the number on that growth? Do you remember where you were and where you went to? Because I know I have
in Iceland.
Yeah.
I don't know, but that was when the McDonald's video first caught.
I think it was like 70,000 to 200,000, something like that.
It was just insane.
Yeah, it was instantaneous renown. But what I think is really important, and I'm diving into some of this stuff because I want the audience to understand you better.
Right.
Is that you haven't changed. You've certainly grown up.
Yeah.
You've certainly grown. You have a wonderful girlfriend who we all like better than you. You have a family that we adore. And I feel like I'm a part of your family as a whole because we spent so much time together. But your direction, your desire to bless other people and inspire them has never once been sold out. And that's like when there was all this drama recently about a wing and people were like making fun of you for getting paid by other brands to bash things. I'm like, guys, you don't understand. Like, I have tried for years to get this guy to switch brands on anything. Anything. I'm like, listen, hey, if you really like it, why don't you start flying the Aviator helmet? Because I know that you'll help promote them. Why don't you start flying a Parajet Maverick, which you ended up doing because you like it.
Yeah.
But before I tried to get you on a Maverick, I tried to get you on a Nirvana. I've tried to get you on every different brand that I've sold that I like, and you have different things. Nope, I still like the Scout best.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, I respect it. You've never once sold out. And I think that's, looking back, as you've grown, now you've learned how to monetize better.
For sure.
You've learned how to actually build a business.
Yeah.
To some extent. We could still make you actually make more money if you would let us. But I'm so proud of who you are. And like, your mom's in the chat right now, your actual mother, and my father.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. I have had this conversation with your mom many times. Who you are is so indicative of the way that they loved you, and who you share the world with, like your world, how you share it, is indicative of how you want to see the world reflected back at you. And I think it's really cool.
I appreciate that.
But that said, I'm going to dog on you now.
Do it.
All right. So actually, this is something I want to do in the future. I would really like to create a burn series. Just like, let's get everybody in here and just make sick burns. Just a full-on roast. We need a paramotor roast. All right.
That could be very entertaining.
I could be the first one. Yeah, you got to roast me first. So that's what we should do. So we're gonna do a paramotor roast. We're gonna start it in the new year. Go ahead and email your best roast to john@aviatorppg.com. for me, roasting me. And then if you have other ideas for people we should roast, let us know, and we'll do a paramotor roast once a quarter.
I think it can bring the community together.
I think so too. Must be present to be roasted. That's a key though. So yeah. All right. So to roast you just a little bit, people are always contacting me. At least one every couple of weeks, sometimes a lot more than that. And they're like, "Hey, so I need to be friends with Tucker. You got to hook me up with Tucker. I got to be friends with Tucker." And I'm like, first off, if you really want to be friends with him, search on Grindr. You might find him.
Oh, jeez.
You know, like go call him, email him, send him a letter. Like, I'm not gonna send you my buddy's cell phone number. Like, that's not gonna happen.
Right.
But they all have the same perspective. They're all like, he's the coolest guy ever. Like, you don't understand, Tucker. He's this guy, and one time he flew to McDonald's. So it's like, it's just painfully funny to see this. But they don't know you like I know you. Like, you're part of the Aviator family. You're absolutely part of the Paradigm family. You know, you're one of the founding members of Paradigm.
Yes.
What people don't get, and I try to explain this to them when they ask about you, like, "Hey, so is that Tucker guy, is he really like how he seems on his videos?" I was like, "Yeah." You don't understand that. Like, he makes a 10-minute video, and that's cut from a 3-hour flight.
Right.
So like 3 hours of him talking is generally 10 minutes of talking.
Yeah, through a very narrow lens.
Yeah, with a 3-minute video montage in the middle.
Yeah.
And a 2-minute on either end. So there's about 4 minutes of talking in 4 hours. So he seems very entertaining and high energy in his videos.
With all those jump cuts.
Yeah. In real life, John is that way.
That's true.
And it's not a negative, it's not a dig, but people need to understand that if you're gonna come meet Tucker, like say someone showed up at Aviator tomorrow to meet you, they're not gonna be standing there for like a 30-minute stand-up set, right?
Yeah.
It's not an all-day stand-up set. Like, they're more likely to get that from Jacqueline than they are to get that from you.
Yeah, no, so many people that I meet are like, "Wow, you're really quiet." And I'm like, "I guess so. I guess it's just all the jump cuts."
It's all the jump cuts. Oh, that's the thing, though, is you've found a way to express yourself in such a powerful manner. And like, I'm extremely extroverted, but I'm an introvert. Like, I don't charge by being around people. I charge by silence. I charge by reading, and like, I need space. And you're very much the same way. You found a way to kind of expose who you are and to share who you are that's safe for you.
Right.
And that's powerful.
Yeah.
That's
totally
awesome. So, all right. Vertical Line says, why has Jacqueline not trained at Aviator PPG?
She kind of has.
She kind of has like 4 times.
Yeah, she's sat on some classes, and she's gotten the ground school. And
Jacqueline, do you have any comments?
Jacqueline on stage
you
left.
See her face. She definitely has. She definitely has trained at Aviator to an extent, but Tucker did the primary training and then the follow-up training. But you've been through the ground school several times.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so we've got lots of questions coming in. Before we get to questions, really, I want to bring in our guest of the evening, our second guest. Before I do that, do you have anything else you want to say? Do you feel pretty good about this?
I'm feeling pretty good.
All right, I'm.
Your mom says hi.
Oh, hi, Mom. Again.
Hey, Jeff Sting, Anthony Vella, great to see you. Slow Days, Blaze in the Sky. Good to see all these wonderful people. Ben is in here as well. Paramotor School says, any of you guys encountered glider lock-in? Glider lock-in, like it locks into a spiral? Yeah, lots of times. If you're flying a wing that does that, you better have the experience to handle it. Jim Furman, great to see you, my friend. Dennis Smith, when are you guys coming out to Australia? That's actually a solid question. So you and I have talked a lot about like next summer's adventures, what I'm doing, what you're doing. Mm-hmm. Do you have plans to do any more international stuff like Iceland?
Kind of. Some of it cannot be talked about.
What will it take to get you to do more of those? Like, I know you're going to come along with us and do some paramotor bush plane. By the way, one thing most people don't know about Tucker is he actually has a Kit Fox also, and very close to the same level of finish as ours. And you need to finish it, man. We got to fly them together.
I got to start it.
What would be fun is if we just go ahead and paint them both like
matching colors.
No, I was thinking like go one step further and like paint them both like Minions.
Ooh,
And you can have the 2-eyed one. I can have the 1-eyed one.
that's creative.
It'd be kind of funny.
Yeah.
Right? Why not? We're already going to be those weirdos with butt fans on our Kit Foxes. So,
Right.
yeah, I think it'd be solid. All right, so he doesn't have anything else to add. Get in here, Derek. Dun, 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 dun. Bring a chair.
Trading positions? Or
No, he's adding. He's adding. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the man you've all been hating.
The luckiest man alive.
The luckiest man alive. So, look at that. Look at that. Oh, beautiful. Beauty,
With
mate.
a plug.
Beauty, mate. So, gosh, it's been, 6 months ago now? John Hancock and Tucker had this great idea of, hey, why don't we give away a training? And I said, hey, why don't we let my kids eat? And they said, no, really, like this could be good. Like we can promote Tucker's clothing lines. We can promote the school. It could be a good thing for everybody. And I said, all right, we can try it once. But I'm really concerned about like what kind of person we're going to get out of this.
You never know.
Because he's going to do a random thing. And like, what if he's like 140 years old, 300 pounds, and then we got someone even worse than that?
Right.
So this is Derek. Hi, Derek. You're going to have to get close to the mic when you talk.
We're going to have to put
Hello.
our faces really close together.
This is actually what he won. This is what he didn't want to learn to fly. He just want to have his face close to yours. I think it's pretty solid. Pretty obvious at this point. Yeah.
Mission success will be bumping tips.
That will happen. Actually, I was bumping tips with Tucker yesterday.
Hard.
I blew his
Let me
tip
tell
off.
you what.
I blew his tip off so many times.
Yep.
It was good. So, Derek bought a T-shirt. Tell us the whole story. Tell us the whole experience. I'm going to get my glass real quick. Is that still around here? That cup you made for me?
People want to know if that's the shirt
No,
that you want.
this isn't the shirt. This came out later.
Come in close.
I think it was the summer one, the bright blue one.
That one's pretty.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think it was that one.
Can you guys hear him all right?
And the
Okay, cool.
and the skull looking one. I'll say I ordered those two.
Yeah.
But it was a moment of like I watched Tucker's new video. I watched it without Leanne. Like I usually wait for her. It was like 5 a.m.
No.
And I'm watching the video, and I hear this little contest, and I'm like, I'm just gonna win that. I'm gonna win that. So I went up to Leanne's bed, our bed, and started shaking the bed, like, honey, wake up. She looks at me, she's like, what's up? I'm like, I want to order some T-shirts. Okay, see ya.
Yeah, she's like, please let me sleep.
Yeah. And I'm like, no, really. I'm gonna buy these T-shirts, and I'm gonna win training to fly a paramotor. Still, it's leave me alone. But then she bought into the dream. I'll say for the next few videos where he's talking about, there's going to be this contest. She's going, you're going to win that. You're going to win that. And
That's so sick.
yeah, we're going to win that. We're going to win that. And Tucker called me, but not before the last video. I got to say when he posted that the contest was coming to an end. And it's late at night. It ends at midnight or something. And Leanne looks at me and she says, you got to order some stickers. Get on there and order some stickers. So we ordered some stickers, and one sticker, $5, $8 shipping. Totally worth it. Free training.
Totally worth your $13
It was
training.
either 2 T-shirts or a sticker. I placed 2 orders.
I like it. Well, we're glad it was you. It's actually been really fun because we got to meet in Pennsylvania at the Hughesville, Lycoming County fly-in air show thing. Turns out he has excellent taste in bourbon. His wife has excellent taste in friends, and because she's friends with me and my wife. So
Took her for a trike ride.
I tried to take her. I took her for a whole lot of trike rides.
It was enough.
That was the worst thing ever, as far as like so. Oh, hello. She just brought me bourbon.
She's good.
I love you. So we tried to go for a tandem, and it did not go so well because of a myriad of mistakes and bad conditions and small
Not enough
fields. Yeah. So we actually got this guy. We flew along for about 50 yards and realized that we're not going to clear the corn, so we had to land.
But it was enough.
So when is she training?
When I get my piggy bank builds back up.
He has to buy his paramotor.
Yeah, I have to get a motor first.
And apparently you're buying my car.
That looks like it. No, not before I buy that.
Priorities.
I want that.
That right there?
Yeah.
That's pretty schmexy.
Checks all the boxes.
It does check all the boxes. It does. So we've had a great time with Derek. Today is a special day for you. Salute. The gentleman here across from me had his first freaking flight today.
And it was beautiful.
I'm not gonna call it beautiful.
I've watched it. I will say, it was challenging conditions this morning. There was 0 wind. It was very wet. It looked good, dude. It looked really good, and I think that some of that's like credit to the
It
fact.
felt like I conquered it, so
Yeah?
I liked it. I didn't want it to be that easy, so I'm glad it was a bit of a struggle.
Well, that's what we said. We talked about
Yeah.
in the class yesterday. Is like the reality is, if it's super easy, most people who find this really, really easy, Tucker's weird that he stuck with it, that he felt as much value from it. Because those of us who struggle through it are the ones who are like, okay, this is for me. I love it. This is amazing, right? So that's definitely a big deal, man. You struggled through it and you crushed it. Well done.
Thank you.
How'd you like it?
It was awesome.
It was awesome.
Give me more.
Give me more. So you're up to 4 flights now.
6. I did a
6.
couple. I did a couple
Dang.
touch and goes. I did 4
Touch and
tonight.
goes. What?
Dang, man.
Yep,
Dang.
they told me every time I touched the ground. That's what I was told by my instructors. Thanks, John. Thanks.
Yeah.
Log it.
Very.
Oh, I already wrote it on the board.
Heck yeah, man. That's
been done.
amazing. So that's a big thing for us. So we have another gentleman who Greg Oram, who's coming to train with us at our Dunellen location in 1 year.
Buy a wing.
What's that?
Buy a wing, Greg.
Buy a wing.
Solid
Yeah.
advice.
So that's something. Let's talk about that. We can kind of dive into that. You got very blessed. You got free training.
Might have offset the price of a wing.
Correct. But that's something you did. You purchased a wing, and you blew up my Instagram for the next 2 months.
Coach.
No, not even coach. Just like every day I get a text or an Instagram message like, "Hey, bro, kiting again." Talk about the experience. Like, what was it like learning initially on your own, and then what was it like? How is it coming here with that kiting experience?
A lot less overwhelming than I think my classmates. I mean, they were really intimidated by it and just grabbing the wing and doing things with the wing. Just, I'm glad I had some time to digest that and think I knew what I was doing. Go to sleep, wake up the next day, and repeat sort of deal.
Nice.
But it was watch the Aviator DVD or the YouTube video and rewind, actually holding stuff, playing with stuff.
Nice.
Till the point where I'd go out with 0 wind because I was scared and terrified. And I would run it around the field till I could actually like turn around and run it back with no wind till I actually started to go, hey, I want some wind. And I just did it slow.
You found
Small
the best
bites.
field, dude. Your location.
Well, I got a bunch of hills, and it would be like, look at windy. Okay, which way's the wind blowing? Is it going to kill me?
Is it gonna kill me? Were you wearing a helmet at least?
Yeah, I was wearing a
Okay,
helmet.
good.
Yeah, I was definitely wearing a helmet. I got kicked out of the park. The park rangers told me not to come back. But, I mean, that was after they told me I was allowed to be there 8 times or something. So they saw me above the trees and got scared.
That's one of those bizarre things to me because if you're not using a motor, I mean, how are you different than a kid with a kite? You're just a really big kid with a really big kite, you know? Which is pretty accurate right at the end. All right, Jim CR120 asks, for Derek, what have you been doing to prepare yourself for training?
Prepare kite. I rode my bicycle to like really get my endurance up, I would say, because I just thought about these long days and how like I didn't want my body to be physically holding me back. I have a lot of screws holding me together.
Yes,
I've
you
got
do.
a lot of crazy injuries that I've overcome, and
We've seen you on a one wheel. You'll have more soon.
I am really good at falling. I've gotten better. I like to crash.
Yeah. Talk about the LMS. So you're in the second class to ever have access to our learning management system, which is basically our online ground school. So that, but by the time you get here, you already have a lot of the foundation. How did that help you with the classwork?
More stuff conquered before I got here, just less overwhelming. More like I say in school, I kind of learned that was the better way to approach, where I would look at the lesson plan the day before. So when the teacher went through it, I was following along, not like, holy crap,
Right.
what are we talking about? So trying to be ahead of the game, I'd say that definitely helps.
Nice. All right.
Knowing what I'm going to learn before I get there.
Any words of advice for someone like Jim who's coming to train in a few months? What would you tell them?
Get in shape.
Get in shape.
Get a wing.
Yeah.
Put a smile on your face. 'Cause it's coming.
That's right.
Get used to that.
Get used to the smile.
Yeah.
This guy has been the biggest, smiliest dude you'll ever see. It's been awesome to watch. It really has.
Besides my serious face.
You have a serious face?
Well, am I smiling the whole time? I feel like I'm concentrating.
Concentrating. Well, I'm super pleased. I'm glad it was you. When we picked, we very carefully screened each of you winners, and Tucker goes through and makes sure that you're white, that you're between 5'8" and 6'1", that you're a male.
That you've made more than one purchase.
I'm kidding. It's all random, guys. It's all random.
Random number generator.
I wish that we could have those kind of limitations, but we can't. One of the things I will ask you, because you're a student that's gone through this, the emails we sent coming up to your training, we become almost rude. I feel, where we're like, hey, if you can't sprint this fast in this much space, if you're not in physical shape, did you feel like those were fair now that you've gone through training?
Well, I think that would be unrealistic not to try to spell it out. That
Yeah.
It's gonna be a lot easier if you can do this.
And you've seen it. I mean, it's not easy.
Yeah.
It's
they're telling
work.
me to run harder, and I'm running as hard as I can.
Yeah.
And I've been training, so.
And you're a fit dude.
I'd like to think I am.
Well, fitter than me. What wing did you bite a kite with? Jim wants to know.
I bought a Spider.
What size?
24.
That's the right size for you. Yeah. Good. So learning on the Spider and then flying
Thanks,
the
Nina.
Mojo. Yes, Nina's the bomb. Learning on the Spider, kiting, and then learning on the Mojo, flying. Did you feel like the Spider is easier? Mojo?
Yeah, I can't wait to see my Spider.
Is it here?
Yeah, he's here.
It's a male?
Well, she's here.
It has two genders.
It can be male.
It's here.
It's a
Maybe
gender
my
fluid
motors are
glider.
female, my wings are male. I don't know.
This just got weird. I mean, I accept whatever you're. That's totally fine. It's just a very interesting choice. John's leaving.
Well, I never flipped it over and checked. Let's just say that.
Fair enough.
All right, we've got lots of great people in here. We're going to continue on with the questioning. Paramotor School asks, so far, what's the most memorable location you've flown powered paragliders? Derek.
Here.
Duh. All right. Tucker, what's the most memorable location?
The park. I could
park?
never forget it because I've flown there so much.
Wow, okay. That's the opposite direction I thought you'd take that.
Permit holder.
Okay, so other
one.
memorable. Iceland, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's the obvious choice.
So, like, for me, there's so many. Like, flying in Czech Republic is still best country I've ever flown in. Like, just insane variation and terrain, and people are incredible. The food's incredible and cheap. I think flying in front of the arch was really memorable, like really special.
Yeah.
I was leading the stack because I had the American flag, right? And it's July 4th weekend, and I make the turn to fly in front of the St. Louis Arch, and I look behind me, and there's 9 more paramotors behind me. And I'm just like, this is so cool!
And tell everyone how tempted you were to just keep flying straight.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, we all were.
Did you fly the electric we built?
No, I saw it fly.
You need to fly it because I'm working on finalizing some stuff because I don't even care if we sell it. I just want to fix it up because we've been invited back. I just want to get it running so that we can fly through the arch.
Is that the loophole?
That's literally the entire reason why I've spent all this money developing that frame. Do you know how much money I've tied up into being able to fly through the arch? It's
I just had my
stupid.
mind blown.
It's stupid.
We're gonna fly through the arch.
I've spent like what I would pay a salary to fly through an arch. But it'd be really cool.
So when is this gonna happen?
July 4th next year, maybe?
I don't think you
I'll
should
be
have told
there.
everybody.
No, it's just for an air show. It's legal. Like it's legal for us to
No, I
do
mean,
it.
Somebody might try to race you to it.
Well, they can do it all they want. It's illegal if they do
Yeah,
it. It's
they'll
legal
get in
for us
trouble.
because we're doing it through. It's actually a felony if you don't have permission from the air boss.
Nailed it.
Which is pretty awesome.
I didn't know that at the time.
Yeah, I didn't know. Yeah, they'll know it now. Damage asked a good question. Do you get any anxiety flying new places? He flew a new place for the first time this evening.
It depends on the place. If it's a easy launch site and surrounding area, no. But if it's something a little more complicated or tricky, definitely.
Yeah, like St. Louis, there definitely were nerves taking off
Oh,
there.
Yeah.
You know, we know we're going to fly across a city.
Mm-hmm.
We know we're going to be flying in an area where they refused to put boats in the water to safeties because they felt like it was too dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
There's no landing areas. Like that's nerve-wracking. But like Costa Rica, it's like, let's go explore.
Yeah.
You know?
Do whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. That's actually one of my favorite flights with you is flying for beer.
Yeah, and I remember the songs I had on at the time.
Do you?
That was such a good flight.
Which songs were they? I gotta know now.
So it was one of the Two Friends Big Booty mix. Believe it or not. It's a good mix. Don't judge it by the title.
Well, Arturo's in the chat right now. Arturo from Costa is in the chat.
Oh, he is?
We're working on another adventure to Costa Rica. Derek, you should join us. Tucker, you should join us.
Costa Rica.
When am I going to get Leanne training then?
Free flying. You just have to make more money. Dude, quit with all the excuses, okay? Sell your body.
Champion.
You're beautiful. Just do what it takes. Tucker did.
Whoa. Is Steven your dad?
Yes.
He says, let Tucker fly through the arch.
Let Tucker fly through the arch. Your dad's asking. Oh, that's awesome. I miss your dad.
Hi, Dad.
Hi, Dad.
Sisters in too.
My sister's
Oh,
in.
Lindy's in
the
here.
whole family.
What's up, Lindy? Happy Thanksgiving. I'm really a little bit sad and upset because you're stealing Tucker away for Thanksgiving. We're doing Thanksgiving dinner here. You should come, Lindy. We will bring horses for you. I don't know whose horses,
That's a
but
bribe.
I will bring horses for you, Lindy. Actually, she'd probably be like, that's work now.
Yeah.
No.
She has a lot of horses to play with.
All right, Patrick Ryan asked a great question. How many times have you gotten in trouble flying in a new place? Have you ever been fined?
Flying in a new place.
Excuse me.
Yeah, once.
So, Derek, how many
No
times
fun.
have you gotten in trouble
No
flying in a
fine,
new place?
they just asked me to leave, and good news was I was done. And Leanne kind of let him have it. I don't know. I came up and the park ranger was shaking like a leaf.
That's awesome. All right, how about you, Tucker?
I've definitely never gotten fined. I don't know about getting in trouble at a new launch site.
I mean, I've had plenty of experiences. Generally, I was in. There's a clip in our announcement video for our adventure where I'm skiing behind Scott Martin's ski boat
Right.
or bass boat, and we'd taken off from the high school in Okeechobee, or Clewiston, Florida, and we're over Lake Okeechobee, and we landed, and there was a note on the truck, and it said like, "You're not allowed to take off here. Please don't take off here again."
Mm-hmm.
That's the furthest extent I've had as far as like from a new launch site. It's usually after you've been launching from that site for a while and
Right.
someone does something that's not nice.
Yeah.
That's when it starts to get down on you.
For
which
sure.
sucks. Yeah. Nunya says, are you guys teaching Tucker how to fly a trike yet? You need to do that while you're here.
I know, it's on the list.
Why don't you do that tomorrow?
I think we could.
Leanne wants
Yeah.
you to take her for a trike ride.
I have an appointment to get an alignment on the van, but other than that,
That's
I'm
important.
open.
All right, we'll do some trike flying, and then we'll work on your tandem rating.
Yeah, that's
Your
what I
other
want to
tandem
do.
rating, 'cause you already have one.
Yeah.
We'll get you another one.
No, that's 2020 goals for sure. And if I can get a start on it now.
Well, you need a tandem machine so you can take people for rides and
Yeah, I
do
know.
more sweepstakes.
Well, that and I had so much fun like flying my parents and Jacqueline
Yeah.
and that was borrowed gear and I eventually had to give it back, but I want to have gear of my own and make it like a whole series. Like if I
know
can,
a guy.
Yeah. I know a guy too. But can you imagine like all the interesting type people, like I'm thinking like veterans or something that like used to fly and take them up.
I thought about doing like a cars and coffee, but like with paramotors.
Yeah.
So you can
Okay.
do like a paramotor karaoke. That would be a great series that you could host.
That would be awesome.
I don't want to do it, but I think you could do a really great job of
No,
this.
like, yeah, just add another, like, take them for a ride, but add a little creative element to
Yeah,
it, too.
so like they have
Yeah.
to sing a song for a ride.
Yeah,
I'm in.
that'd be awesome.
You
I
can
think
take me
it'd be
for a
a
ride,
hit.
but I'm only singing Barbie Girl.
Okay. Deal.
Okay, cool. All right. Who else is singing it now in their head? I know somebody is. I'm a Barbie girl
Don't do it.
in a Barbie world.
No.
It's fantastic.
Ruined. Ruined.
Derek's like, okay, and that's when I left Aviator PPG for another school. All right, so guys, lots of great people in the chat. Thank you all for being here. Tucker and Derek, thank you guys. We're going to answer some other questions. Justin asks if you've ever flown in Michigan, Tucker.
Michigan. I don't think so.
One of my favorite
Never.
states to fly in, actually.
Really?
It's
What
not.
makes it good?
It was not as epic as Wisconsin. Like flying Richardson Center is still.
Yeah.
I mean, like the United States have some incredible opportunities for flight. Like there's just so many varying landscapes. Wisconsin's still up there, top 3, top 4. Michigan. What's really special about where Fly My PPG is, they have lavender and mint fields.
Ooh, that's
So you're literally
smelly.
flying over and you're smelling lavender. And it's just like this most bizarre. It's beautiful.
It's
really
better than
is.
the chicken farms.
Yeah,
Those aren't fun.
It does beat out the chicken and the pigs. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. They're some a fairly large number of sheep there. So Travis was really excited about the sheep, but they stood in horror. Sorry, this is a
Jacqueline's reaction.
really old joke.
Not a funny joke.
So the problem was we did like a 5-week trip last summer, and we didn't see our families for so long that it became a running
Right.
joke. I guess was that last summer, 2 summers ago. I don't know. Yeah. So killer stuff, guys. Killer stuff.
PG.
We're keeping it PG. I'm just saying, like he likes to snuggle. All right. Let's answer some questions.
Paramotors.
Have you ever thought about teaching? Cody Esterline wants to know. Tuck Tuck Goose.
I have, but it's not something that really like interests me. I don't have an extreme passion. Like what I enjoy about teaching is like friends and sharing that experience with them. But I feel like teaching someone how to fly is amazing.
Right.
Like seeing them go through the process, but at the same time, there's a lot of anxiety and responsibility, and it's not something that really like I'm infatuated with.
It doesn't
right
turn
now.
you on. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that really has to. Like for me, teaching, and I think for a lot of our instructors, not all of the instructors, there's a part of us that would rather teach than fly.
Yeah.
And if that's not in you, like some of the best pilots I know aren't good instructors. And some of the best instructors I know aren't great pilots.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's all about finding people who have the right balance of a servant's heart and a true desire, like an empathetic desire to see other people succeed.
Yeah. I get the best of both worlds though, because I just come here and watch you guys teach.
Yes.
And I don't have the responsibility, but I get to see the emotions. It's like cheating.
It is cheating a little bit. And you're going to do that again at our second location soon. So.
Yeah. Danone.
Dun, dun, dun.
My wing.
What about bucket list flight?
So we get a question from this guy. You've never heard of him. His name's Jeff Booth. He says, how did Tucker and Jacqueline meet?
It's a long story.
It is a long story. I've heard it before.
It's basically mutual friends.
You just made it really short.
Yeah. That's the short version of the long story.
I'm only teasing. Jeff's been on the show many times. Jeff's on the board of the Aviator Foundation. Super good dude, and you were at his house a few days ago. So just, trying to give him crap.
What up?
What up? Jace or Joyce Carey, I can't read it, says, best camera to film while flying. What's your favorite camera?
The one I use is the GoPro 7, but it's still not the best.
I agree. I'm going to buy the 8 and see if the audio jack works better.
Yeah, I'm very, very tempted to. But the drawback, I think, to get that port, you have to have the battery door open, and the battery can fall out at any moment.
It can fall out.
So I've heard.
Battery door?
Yeah.
That seems like a really bad plan.
I know. That's what. I don't know.
GoPro. So one thing I'd like to do, and this is putting you on the spot a little bit. I know you flew with the Aviator helmet that you gave JP, or is that his name? What's his name? John Paul.
Yeah. Yep.
I'd love to see you test that audio system a little more.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's throwing those ear cups on yours and seeing if it works for you. I've been testing it. I've been flying with it. And I think it's the adapters that are the issue, the audio adapter.
Right.
Because it's GoPro's audio adapter. They're ridiculously hard to find. And I had phenomenal audio.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't like recording a vlog because I don't do that. I don't want to step on your toes. I'm just going out for a rip with my friends. And so Ed and I were up, and we had the best flight. We were in Georgia. I flew the RV up there. So I flew up, my motor was waiting for me, and then we flew around for 2 days, and then I loaded the paramotor in the airplane and flew to Florida for the adventure at Cape San Blas. So it was epic adventures. And the first hour of footage, the audio is perfect. Like you can hear my music playing, and like people would laugh at like Barbie Girl playing over and over again. And then you can hear me like giggling. So you're in Georgia, so there's tall trees, cotton fields, right? Like literally cotton fields, cotton everywhere. Super cool. And I like crank a big wing over down the tree line, diving into the field, and like kick the tree, like just perfectly time it. So you wing over, swoop, treetop, wing over left, down into the field. I'm like, you know, audio is great. And then an hour into the footage, the audio just goes, and you hear nothing anymore. And I was like, what the devil? I don't know if it's GoPro adapter. I know it's not the audio in the helmet because I swapped everything over and now it works great again. So be a test dummy for me anytime you want. You can borrow a helmet, and I'd love to get more footage because it's really annoying because I'm not a vlog guy, but it'd still be nice to be able to have the audio. Like I'm a vlog guy, I'm not a flying vlog guy.
Right.
Except for airplanes because that's a niche that no one's ever used.
Right.
All right. Somebody says Osmo Actions. That is where it's at. The Osmo Action's interesting to me. The bit rate just does not look nearly as good to me as the GoPro stuff.
I've heard good things about the usability, though. I've heard that you can do the recording and the charging, and everything works perfectly. So that's an appeal.
You may have to try it.
Yeah.
We just got a Insta360. We've got the Garmin 360. We've got the GoPro 360. Well, you have my GoPro Fusion.
Yeah, I still have it.
Apparently Insta is where it's at, so we're going to try that out
That's
soon.
what I've had the best luck with.
Yeah.
It's still, like, I'm on my laptop, and it's pretty well spec'd out, but I have to do a proxy thing first, so it plays smoothly. But once you do that, it takes, like, a couple hours for, like, an hour-long clip.
Wow.
Then you can edit it. But that was the same pretty much with the Fusion. It was just a different process.
The Fusion takes forever.
Yeah, I think the Fusion was longer.
I mean, I have a built-out iMac. It's like a 2015 or whatever, or 2016, but it's 32 gigs of RAM or 64 gigs of RAM. It's built out, and it wouldn't chew through Fusion footage.
Yeah.
Fusion would just be like, well, it might work, it might not. We'll see.
Yeah,
It's
rough.
Really rough. All right. Jim asks, question for Tucker: do you fly in colder climates during flying winter season? What's the coldest temperature you've flown?
I don't think I've hit the negatives. I've definitely hit the single digits, but I don't like it. You put on so many layers of clothes, and then you're like Michelin Man. You can't feel anything.
Yeah.
And then you go up and you can't turn your head, and it's like, I do quick flights normally, like with not a lot of gear on. And then every time I do that, I'm like, okay, I'm shivering, I have to land. And everyone's like, why don't you dress up more? And I'm like,
so
it's just
something
that
people
balance.
don't know about Tucker in general is that Tucker is impervious to cold. I'm a Floridian. I was born in Florida, raised in Florida. I can go to Michigan in the winter and it can be 7 degrees, and I can go outside in a sweater and I'm okay. Tucker would go to Michigan when it was 70 below, wearing only a Speedo, and instead of things shrinking, they'd get bigger.
That almost sounds like something that happened.
It does sound like something that happened. So seriously, I've never met anyone in my life that has as little body fat as you do that can handle cold like you do. You truly do handle cold well. So I don't understand why you don't wear more clothes when you fly. Have you tried the Power Motion gloves we have, the heated ones?
No, I have Gerbing, and I don't like them.
All right.
The heated element of it.
Nina, hook him up with some gloves to try. We'll get a review video out.
I've heard they're good.
They're awesome. They just came out with socks.
No way.
Yeah, they just came out with socks, a neck gaiter, I think. They have the vest already. So for me, anytime it's below 70, heated gloves are a requirement. I'm just kidding. Realistically, if it gets below 55,
Yeah.
I'm out. Like my wife and I, my parents got the kids overnight last night so that we could fly together. And we were like, let's go fly in the morning. And I was like, it's 48. How about no? Floridian. Yeah. It's just too cold for me. But yeah, I'd love to have you try them. The Power Motion stuff is really, really, really good. Travis and I have tried a bunch of different gear. The only other pair of heated gloves I liked were Nirvana's because they put extra filament around the pinky and the ring
That's
finger.
the part that counts.
Right, because they're flying gloves.
Yeah.
But they're so bulky. Like
Yeah, it's always a balance.
these aren't bulky.
tough.
You just get I use a pair of Columbia Ascender liners over them, and they're stupid warm.
Nice.
Speaking of which, as soon as we get larges in stock, I need a pair because we had to sell mine. They ship today. Awesome. All right. Any advice for flying around hot air balloons, etiquette-wise?
That's a very good question.
It's a great question.
Because every time I fly around hot air balloons, people call me out in the comments of how disrespectful I am,
rude
and
you
I'm
are.
an idiot, and I'm gonna ruin the sport.
Haters.
But the part that
They aren't wrong about all those things. It's not about the hot air balloon.
Right.
Yeah.
The part I've learned is now every time I do it, I have to put the disclaimer of I know these people. And like I mentioned earlier, my mom's a commercial hot air balloon pilot. I grew up in the community, and I know all the local balloon pilots.
Mm-hmm.
So we're all on the same page, and they enjoy it, and I enjoy it. And I can get really close, and they trust me. And even still, I'll do a pass or two, do some wingovers and leave. Like, it's cool for a little bit, and then I get out of their hair.
I think it's that way with any place that you fly. If you're flying and you stay in the same area for a long, protracted period of time,
Yeah.
eventually, at first, you're a novelty, you're interesting,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then you're something that exists in the reality, and they're like, okay, this is here. And then you're annoying as crap,
Right.
right? So that like you have that balance. You have to think about like at what point am I annoying?
Yeah. And if you're a paramotor pilot and you see a random balloon that you don't know the pilot, my suggestion is don't get as close as I ever get, for
Never.
sure. Maybe just do a flyby, I don't know, 2,000 feet away. Don't be looking at their pupils.
If they're like waving you over, it might be okay.
Yeah,
If
sometimes
they're waving
that's-
you away,
That's hard to tell, though, when you're up and they're
Yeah.
just like doing something. You're like, I don't know, I'm just going to stay away because they're flapping.
yeah. So like that was one of there's a video I have on my channel of me rescuing a hot air balloon pilot
Right.
or something like that.
Yeah.
And I knew the pilot very well. I'd taken off and I'd flown up to see my family. It was just one of those random times, which is really rare for me, where I wasn't teaching and I had no one else with me. So I'm flying up to see the family. I see the balloon kick some skydivers out at 5,000 feet. I watched them. I chased the skydivers down because they were friends of mine, so I chased them down to their landing. The balloon comes down. I see this giant hole in the side where it had caught fire.
Dope.
And I was like, oh, crap. I later find out, I didn't know that. I'm not a balloon pilot. I want to get my rating, but I later find out it's no big deal. You could burn like 30% of the envelope and it's no big deal.
As long as it's at the bottom.
Yeah, as long as it's
Yeah.
the bottom, it's no issue. It is like a 6-foot large hole in his balloon, and he's like, "Oh, it's totally fine." One of the skydivers jumped
Send
out
it.
before I expected, and I'm just gonna send it. But I ended up chasing him around, so we flew through Mountain Lake. We flew through areas I normally wouldn't fly through because I was trying to make sure that he landed safely. But I had communication with him beforehand that where I would fly. Then at Hughesville at the Lycoming County Balloon Fest, where we flew at the air show in September, Rebecca, we call her the Balloon Meister, she's just wonderful. We were speaking with her ahead of time. I said, listen, you've got 30 balloons or 20 balloons. How close do you want us? How far away do you want us? And then they said, well, you can come within 100 yards. It's fine. Don't fly over the balloons. And this is the part that I want to talk about because the most important thing, and there's a great photo on Google if you look up balloon paramotor crash.
Yeah.
Derek's taking a picture. Hey. All right. So you guys should follow Derek at Derek Trout. Is that what it is?
At Derek Dundee.
At Derek Dundee.
D-U-N-D.
D-U-N-D.
D-E-R-E-K.
All right, D-E-R-E-K, D-U-N-D. All right, so if you look at this photo of the hot air balloon flying with the paramotor, someone flew over the hot air balloon. Never, ever, ever, ever fly over a hot air balloon. And your mom's in the chat. She can answer this question better than I can. I believe it's 1,500 feet a minute or 2,000 feet a minute, something like that.
Something pretty absurd.
The climb rate is outrageous. So they will outclimb the pants off of you. So if you're flying a paramotor, don't fly over them. Coordinate ahead of time. Like when we were at Lycoming, they say we could fly within 100 yards. The only balloon that I actually flew close to was the one that I ended up talking to the pilot the night before. I'm like, hey, you're cool with this. You're flying the Remax balloon. I'm flying the red, white, and black glider. I might come a little close to you. Is that cool? Because I know you have a photographer. You want to get some pictures. That was it.
Right.
The rest of us kind of stayed away from everybody else. So,
Good question.
very good question. All right, so more questions. I'm going to pass over to you. Hey guys, so much talent in one room. May I ask a question? I'm looking for a new reserve, front mounted. Which would you recommend? My total weight is 140 kilograms. Cheers from Sweden, from Alex Mayer.
I'm the worst person to answer that question. 'cause
Come on.
I researched in the beginning. I bought my reserve, and I've just stuck with it. And I have a Gin Yeti, and that's about all I have to say about
Have you
reserves.
repacked it?
Yeah, I repacked it
Good.
annually.
Good. All right. So I had a Gin Yeti. Loved it because it's super light. I went to the Ozone Angel after that because That's what I was selling. And then as soon as they came out with the Angel Square, I went with that because it's much lighter. And now they have the Ocean Angel Square Pro, which is even lighter.
Dang.
It's only like a pound, but when you're petty, a pound's a lot.
But you're a pro.
Pro level.
It may be even be a kilo. It's light. So I fly an Angel Square 140. Currently, it's 3 pounds ish. Super, super, super light. The descent rate's fantastic. I have friends who've thrown them. I've seen their openings. Their openings are great. Like it really opens nicely, and it's non-directional control, but you do have some modicum of directional control. It's not like a Regalo. If I were doing a lot of acro, I'd fly with a Angel Square as a primary and a Beamer 3 as a secondary, or vice versa.
Have you packed the Angel Square, or do you know the process?
No.
I was just curious about.
No, I just sell mine every time it gets 9 months. So that way I can.
There you go.
So I'm about 4 months away. If you're looking for an Angel Square, I'll have one available.
In need of a repack.
I'm kidding. No, we have 2 riggers now on the team. Steven and Nicole are both riggers, so they're going to handle our packing. Right now, we've had our local rigger do our packing stuff for us. It's not that I don't have an interest in learning to do it. It's just a question of time and focus. So as much as I know the process, like I've watched the videos, but it's just not something that I'd rather trust someone else with my life than trust myself. Yeah. So, all right. Thinking about quitting my job, doing a flying road trip for a couple of months, then getting a new job. What advice do you have for me, Fabio?
I would say do it, but that's it depends on a lot of factors.
Derek says send it.
But yeah, do it.
Go to Aviator.
Go to Aviator. Yeah, coming to Aviator is a great place to
Life
start.
is short.
Life
Go
is
have an
short.
adventure.
And I think that's part of what we were talking about earlier. Like you coming here, taking the time off of work, bringing your wife, you trying to inspire people. My whole mission, I was in a business that made a lot more money, and instead I get to watch people change their lives every day. Dude, I came out there today to the circle and watched you guys, and everyone's high-fiving and hugging, and everyone's so excited and so empowered by the fact they got to fly. By the way, for those of you guys in the Red Shop who are still watching, thank you for watching.
Are they watching?
Shout out to the Thanksgiving class, Thanksgiving 2K19. They're watching right now. I'm super excited to have everybody here. So it's so valuable. It's so worth taking that risk and valuing yourself. There's a section in my book, which I'll let you read. I got it back from the editor today. It's going on Amazon.
Sweet.
So there's a section of my book that talks about one of my fundamental philosophies, which is simply that if it doesn't matter in 5 years, don't stress about it. If taking 3 months off is not going to make a major change in your life in 5 years, if it's not going to redirect the course of your life, why are you stressed out about it?
I like it.
And it's one of the questions. It's one of the things I put all my decisions through that lens. Does this matter in 5 years? Is this going to negatively affect my family, my life, my wife, my path? Like, if it's not going to negatively affect those things, okay, take the risk.
Yeah.
All right. Great question. Love it. Vertical Lines, what is the silliest, dumbest thing Tucker ever did during flight that he would never share on YouTube?
Wait, what did you say?
I thought you showed us when you pulled your...
I feel like this is a pretty interesting question that he wants you to answer on YouTube that you'll never share on YouTube.
Well, here's one that was on YouTube, and then I took down when I flew in my underwear.
You took it down?
Yeah.
Why?
I never saw that.
Because that was it got a couple thousand views at the time, and then I kind of realized as things got bigger, I was like, I should probably take that down.
Were things getting bigger or smaller?
Double meaning.
Double meaning. Jiminy Christmas. All right. Next question. Tucker, what was it about Aviator that made you decide to train there above all the other schools, especially those that were closer to home? David Wolf.
Especially the ones closer to home. The options of closer to home were the backyard trainers that could get you in the air maybe in a month. And it was weekends, part-time, and that didn't appeal to me much, and it still doesn't. And Aviator was a way to do it professionally and in a 1 to 2 week period, get everything done. 4 days for this guy.
You're a little excited about that, aren't you? Tomorrow's going to be beautiful, by
Star
the way.
student.
Perfect.
Ah?
Putting a Moster on tomorrow.
Hey, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I saw the videos you had up at the time, and I got a sense of what Aviator was all about, and it checked all the boxes I wanted.
So let's roll with that question. So first off, thank you for your trust, because I didn't feel very deserving of it at the time. I knew how to teach, but it was still scary 6 years ago. Looking now, if you were to go, let's say you were coming off the street, and you were just finding paramotors. You were a middle school kid 5 years ago, and now you're ready.
Right.
Why would you choose Aviator, or would you?
I think I would. Part of the rest of the story too was at the time when I got out of high school, I was going to do it one way or another.
Right.
Self-training was an option to me. And I had my pilot's license at the time, which made me feel a little more qualified
Felt
to take it
competent.
on.
Yeah.
I had the RC background, and I had I'd only done tandem skydives at the time, but I had been around the drop zone,
Right.
knew about rigging, knew about packing, had an understanding of like the flight characteristics.
You
and
weren't
stuff.
completely lost.
Right. And
Right.
I felt like I could probably self-train, but part of me was like, why would I leave this up to question of probably?
Right.
No, it's your life on the line. It's the most important investment of getting into the sport, I think. Going with someone you trust and doing it right. Like, a lot of people see it as the financial barrier, but really, like, if you're going to put your money somewhere in gear or training, put it in the training.
Start with the training at least.
Yeah.
At least start with the training, and then you can make a decision.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
you can always go online and buy cheap used stuff. You know, we're gonna sell Derek the oldest crap. I got this old flat top up here.
I seen it.
It's awesome.
She's a beauty.
She's a beauty, mate. Trade you for a T-shirt.
Nope.
Nope. Dang.
That must be a bad
Not even
barometer.
worth a T-shirt.
I'm
Dang.
leaving one of those.
Oh man. Shout out to Jack, who's the paramotor moderator, the guy who runs the paramotor group on Facebook. He's in here. Jack, great to see you, my friend. He says, "Great show, guys." Thanks, man. David Wolford asked a question on the other screen. Would you switch for me, Nina? Says, "When did you train?" I gotta raise this up.
Yeah.
Raise me up.
Sing it, Josh.
Yeah, sing it, Josh. Me and Josh Groban going at it. Yo. Tucker's going to take Josh Groban for the first paramotor karaoke. It's going to be highly qualified. All right. Can you base jump off a powered paraglider?
Done.
Yes.
Can you legally base jump off a powered paraglider?
Questionable.
Depends on which FAR you read.
Yeah. It's a gray area, right?
Squint.
Is it a base jump? That's actually a very solid question. Is it a base
Yeah,
jump?
people get so hung up on BASE. Like, I feel like if you're weighing a base rig, may as well call it a base jump.
Kind of. I mean, to an extent, because like Red Bull guys recently finally have got a waiver in the U.S. to be able to do wingsuit base rig flying as long as they have a belly reserve.
Right.
So they can open it like 800 feet instead of 2,000 for air
Yeah.
shows and stuff. So it's really nice. You actually can see them wingsuiting. It doesn't look like, oh, look, there's a
Yeah,
snack.
yeah.
You know? But yeah, so interesting. Eric Sheridan brings up something very important. He says that there are over 200 people watching and only 49 likes.
Serious.
Guys, if you're
What?
enjoying this video,
I'm gonna sign on right now.
sign in,
Yeah, I gotta sign
like the video. Tucker, we're about to hear so many echoes. It's going to be great. If you guys like Tucker, leave a like. If you guys hate Derek, leave a like. If you guys hate
up.
me, leave a like. It's all good. It doesn't matter. If you're really just here for Jacqueline, like the rest of us are, because Jacqueline is the queen of everything, that's fine too. It's totally acceptable.
49 to 69.
We just got 20 likes.
Nice.
Boom. And we got one dislike. Perfect. Yes.
Thanks, guy.
Yes, thumbs down, guys, here and in person. Excellent. Jim CR120 asks, do hot air balloon pilots generally fly with comms?
As far as I know, no, they just have like walkie-talkie-esque for their ground crew. Generally not like aviation band, as far as I know.
Guys, this is his wife. I can't believe it. None of us can believe it. She's awesome. She's real. That's Leanne. She's amazing.
Big help.
Can you recommend an airband VHF? Highly recommend the new ICOM A16, I believe it is.
I
It's
heard about that.
$300 on Amazon. It has Bluetooth, so it connects to your helmet if you
I
want it
really
to.
need to get one of them.
Yeah.
I got
Yeah.
one.
throw it in
There's
my
like 7
pocket.
in the shop. Just steal one. No one will know.
I heard it here first.
Please don't steal them, guys.
Mission.
People are piling on the thumbs down. I don't think they know which one to click. The thumbs downs are growing.
The thumbs downs are growing. That's okay.
I don't
If-
think they liked
Show
us
them what it
asking.
looks
It's all right. If people don't love us, yeah. If you want the thumbs up looks like this.
Yeah.
John said we should mention this to you.
like.
This will
Hi,
officially
Tom.
this will officially be our thumbnail. All right. William actually trained in the last class. Super good dude. He is going to be the very first paramotor pilot to launch on stilts.
No way.
He's a stilt walker for a living.
Like those legit ones.
Like
that,
legit
No
ones.
hand ones.
Like
Yeah.
8 foot tall.
Yeah, and he's got videos of him dancing and jumping and
If
doing
you did that at
flips.
the beach, like with a nice wind,
It'd be really
that'd be
fun.
so
Doing
sick.
flips with
Yes,
stilts.
with stilts.
I'm all about it.
Right.
I'm all about that life. William, come down for Thanksgiving, brother. We'd love to see you.
Yeah, with
It's
your
okay.
stilts.
Tucker won't be here, so
If you don't bring your stilts, don't come.
you have to bring the stilts. I agree.
Stay home without.
He asks, how does it feel to bring so many new people to power paragliding?
Seriously.
There's a lot of emotions. First, it's awesome because like you meet people and you see the influence that the videos have had in their life,
Mhm.
even if it's just small, like whatever. Just seeing that it put their life on a different course.
Yeah.
That's super awesome, incredible. At the same time, I always feel like there's a big responsibility, and that's why I always try to push training
Yeah.
and smart decision making, and there's definitely a responsibility there. So it's two
It's a
emotions.
balance, and I'm sure you see them too. We've talked about this in the show in the past. We get emails frequently from people who saw your videos, our videos, got really inspired. They're all excited. They contacted their local trainer who promised them a course, who
Mhm.
promised that they had a syllabus, who promised that they were going to go through ground school, and then so like one of them spent over $30,000 for the two of them, him and his wife,
Yeah.
and then took a week off of work, and they had a terrible experience, right? And they had this terrible experience, and it's unpleasant. It's negative in every possible way. So instead of it being this life-changing good thing, it was their years of savings and their
Right.
years of vacation time, and it's ruined the sport for them. They'll never find a positive experience in it, most likely, because
Yeah.
it hurts their soul, which is why we made the decision to grow Aviator. Is like we were only serving 66 people a year. Next year we're going to train over 230.
Mm-hmm.
We decided to scale because we kind of felt like that natural responsibility to actually be able to make sure they have a good experience
Mhm.
versus have this
right.
negative
Yeah.
thing. Yeah, doing it right. Exactly. It's all your fault, Tucker. Though. Anytime anyone has a bad experience, please email Tucker. He'll let you know.
Oh no.
Expedition Overland wants to know what's the biggest hurdle in the world of PVG?
Okay, so this is a great question. So this is from our great friends at Expedition Overland. Guys, if you haven't seen Expedition Overland's new series, I have to encourage you to take the time. It is beautifully filmed. This is, in my opinion, one of the finest pieces of paramotor film, practically pornography, you could possibly imagine. And it's all available on their YouTube channel. It'll be up on Amazon Prime as well. Great episodes. New episodes drop every Thursday. Subscribe to the Expedition Overland channel. These guys learned to fly with us in April, immediately went to Mexico to push their flying limits to the edge. And they're doing a lot more throughout the season. So check them out. They ask, what is the biggest hurdles in paramotoring? What are your biggest hurdles?
As far as like the expansion of the sport, you think?
I think
Or-
let's take it 3 different ways. So the first way would be personally, like what was your biggest challenge? Expansion of the sport, absolutely, and biggest concern we have for future expansion.
Biggest hurdle? I mean, obviously it depends on the person, but saving up the money to get there
Right.
can be a hurdle for a lot of people. As far as my personal progression, I felt the hardest part was the launch. If you just want to talk about like basic flight skills,
Right.
that's a hurdle for sure. The flying part, getting up there and just making turns, that's pretty easy.
That's pretty
but
easy.
getting off the ground is the hard part. Hurdle as far as like expansion of the sport. I think I talked about this recently in the park video. Everyone always freaks out about the FAA cracking down on us, but a lot of people now are talking about how it's just going to be on like a local basis. And that seems to be the hurdle of site preservation. Having actual sites to fly from, I think, is going to be a hurdle in some areas at least.
And that's a big thing for us. So I'm going to dive into something that's a little bit negative, and I apologize. I think it really all comes down to the people in the sport. So I'll attack the one you talked about last, and I'll go backwards. Site preservation is imperative. In order to have great site preservation, we have to understand that it's not about us being right. It's about us being right to people.
Right.
I commented on a post that was put up in the Paramotor group on Facebook. Guy's flying, climbs over a line of trees, sees a man and his wife, or a man and a woman standing in the middle of a field a few hundred yards away. He then flies away. Man and woman meet him at his landing site after the police arrive there first. Police are incensed that this man is trespassing over this field and calls the FAA. FAA says he's flying. He's not foot dragging. He's completely legal. Cop becomes friendly. Man and the wife show up, or man and woman show up. There's more details to it. Apparently they may have been firing at him with a firearm.
Yeah, I saw that.
But that was not known at the time. That was unknown at the time. Man and wife are incredibly pissed off that he's violating their privacy. Now, my response to this post was just to stipulate kind of some stuff we talked about in our legal 2 episodes ago with John Stedham, which is our chief counsel, who has helped us maintain flying sites. He's part of the Aviator Foundation. He's helping us defend locations. Like, we'd love to help defend your locations. I think it's an important thing. But my answer was, listen, act in courtesy first. We have a guy who's right off this airport who owns a ton of property. He owns one of the sides of the airport, who came over one day, opened the gates, raced down the runway at 100 miles an hour probably, grabbed a young man who's 60 years his junior, trying to fight him for flying over his land. And our response was, we're so sorry that you're upset. We're so sorry that you feel like this should be illegal for us to fly low over your land. However, it's not illegal. What altitude would be gracious to you? At what altitude would you feel comfortable? He's like, no lower than treetops. I said, okay. So we put on our board that we have out there for students and for visiting pilots, please don't fly lower than the treetops. Yes, legally you have every right. But you're being a dirtbag.
Yeah.
D-bad.
Yeah, don't be a dirtbag, right? Exactly. So all that to say, what really concerned me, what I think one of our biggest dangers in the sport is underneath that post were hundreds of comments. And I would say roughly 60 to 70% of them were from people saying, F that guy, go do a barrel roll over his house.
Yeah.
Go foot drag his wife. People were so rude. Because they feel and some of them were my friends. Some of them are people who have been to my home, people who I respect, who get on their keyboard and I believe they do the same thing in the sky. I believe that they see someone who gets pissed off at them for flying over their private property, and they say, "Screw your private property. Legally, you only own the dirt. I'm in charge.
Yeah.
I'm flying. I'm awesome. You suck." And that's gonna kill our sport, guys. I'm sorry, but I had a friend that literally said, go do barrel rolls over his house. And I'm like, this is someone who I respect, who's a friend of mine, the next time I see him, I'm going to have a conversation and say, listen, dude, I want my kids to fly paramotors.
Yeah.
My wife's flying now. It's incredible. I've seen this change so many lives for the better. I've seen people who were quiet kids in high school with fluffy haircuts.
Nerdy kids.
Be able to suddenly be leaders of over 1 million people. I've seen people who clean dental tools and repair them.
I repair them.
Repair dental
them.
hand whatever you call them, hand pieces.
Hand pieces.
Discover a new passion and become a more vibrant man for his wife. More
patience.
More patience.
That's what I'm working on.
More joy. That was my reality. Right? I've seen the sport change people for the better. And the people who are out there their natural reaction is to say, screw the world, I have the right. Guys, That's not okay.
Yeah, what we do back at home, we've had a couple like farmers complain, and thankfully one of them came up to the park very courteous, and we had a nice, easy talk of like, we informed him on 103 that it is legal, but we said we would be more than happy if you just tell us where you're at. We'll avoid your property. And
Yeah.
he told us. I made a Photoshop map from Google Maps with a red zone, and we've added more red zones and just passed them out to everyone, so everyone knows like these are the areas that people are a little more sensitive, and just give them their space. And that's an easy problem to fix.
Well, I think that it comes down to mentality first and foremost, being courteous and recognizing the changes that this makes in our own lives, recognizing how valuable it is for the world around us, right? And then it's been brought up a lot of times. Self-policing is huge. Saturday morning, I get a phone call from a great guy who's happens to be the lead agriculture deputy for our county. So he's a sheriff's deputy. He runs agriculture. I get a call from him, followed by a text from another officer from Lake Wales Police Department, followed by a text from another deputy, followed by visits from a deputy and an officer. So they're like, "Hey, guys, there's a problem. This pilot, group of 3 pilots, was flying south of Crooked Lake. They appeared to have come from the north, heading south. They're flying very low, and they ran a whole bunch of Wagyu beef calves around their pen, potentially running them through the fence. We don't know yet." So, and this is kind of what we've stated since Wings Over Winter. Our last Wings Over Winter, we brought in the FAA, we brought in the Sheriff's Department, and we brought in the Police Department to our pilot briefing and said, listen, if you're caught, if you do the wrong thing, if you do something that's illegal, you do something that's unsafe, you do something that's going to injure this sport, we will help you get arrested.
Mm-hmm. Accountability.
We have to be accountable for each other, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if I come to your park and the first thing I do is kick my smoke on, fly over the interstate at 10 feet, fog the interstate, go fly over everybody who's been pissed off at you, go downtown doing barrel rolls, act like I'm crashing, pull out at the last second. If I go, I sure as crap hope that you make it known to the authorities who it was.
Definitely.
That you report me before someone else does.
Yeah.
Because the reality is we have to defend this sport together. We have to find ourselves in a position where we say, listen, there were 3 pilots. I now know who they were. They were on a cross country. They were not being menacing. They were not trying to run the cattle, but they were running at treetop levels. They were even with the orange trees, so they're 10 feet high. They flew across a big group of calves. The calves then went crazy. And I told the officers, I said, what color wings were they flying? What units were they flying? Oh, it was this unit, it was this unit, this unit, these color wings. Here's videos, here's photos. So it's these guys. I don't know if it was those guys flying or not, but those are the people who own the units. Here's how you go talk to them. And now it's not an issue because, A, there's no charges filed. They were able to go and say, hey, listen, this rancher is really concerned. He's got hundreds of thousands of dollars tied up here. And we get that you legally can fly over. You have every right.
Right.
But it does become a felony when you start to damage livestock.
Yeah. You're not invincible. Exactly.
And it's a big deal. If you're damaging livestock with a motor vehicle, it's a felony. You can go to jail for a really long time, especially if it's multiple counts. And so it's like, guys, we just have to work together. We have to work to really work to support the sport, not just supporting each other. So, and if you see somebody who's doing something you don't think is safe for the sport, say it to them. Even if the cops don't get called, say it to them. Like, hey, listen, like this is...
For sure.
It's a big deal.
It's awkward, and it's hard to tell people, like, hey, don't do that, or I don't think you're doing something safe. But in the big picture, protecting the sport, that's like, you got to do it.
And even bigger than just the sport, we had this conversation a few days ago. When you see someone doing something that you think is unsafe, that they're going to hurt themselves.
Yeah.
Taking the time and having the balls, and it really is, to call them out. This is why Tucker calls me mom, and everybody calls me mom. They call me mom because when someone is doing something that I think might hurt them, or they look like they're too confident, too clean, too smooth, I'm like, hey, Tucker, I love you. Your barrel rolls are baller, but there's no reason to do the last one at 70 feet.
Yeah. I remember in Iceland, you messaged me that one time of like, hey, I had a weird dream. Be safe.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, convenient timing.
We're supposed to fly through this arch, just
Yeah.
over the ocean. I don't have
Nope.
flotation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I gain respect from you for saying that.
And I hate doing it. I feel like the biggest pansy. Like, I'm willing to take risks on myself that I would never ask someone else to do.
For sure.
But each time that I get overconfident, I've been smacked. And you were there when I broke my back.
Mm-hmm.
You saw the pain I went through.
Yep.
It's not worth it. It's worth having a friend. Like, if Tucker had told me that morning, like, hey, bro, you're looking real confident. You feel like a badass on your new wing. You know, you're flying a unit that's not very strong. You're using a wrench and a Allen wrench right before takeoff every time. There might be a problem here. You know, if he'd given me words that had slowed me down, I probably wouldn't have gotten hurt.
Now I feel guilty.
It's all your fault.
Oh my God.
But it's something that we have to consider, right? It's something we have the opportunity to both protect the sport and to protect our fellow pilots, and at the same time, we have to step up. It's hard. All right, I'm going to answer a few more questions because it's been 2 freaking hours, almost 2 freaking hours. I'm actually surprised I'm doing as well as I am. I was feeling so bad today. Drew Weird says, what should you look for in an SIV course? A 1.5 pilot with advanced training from Kyle and Travis. Thoughts, Tucker?
That's a good question. I'm no expert on SIV courses. I've done one motor SIV with Chris.
Yep.
I filmed it and posted it down here. And I think they're extremely valuable. My advice just in general would be if you're ready for it, to do it. They are kind of hard to access, I think.
They're difficult to access right now, and that's something that I hope changes. I think it's really more difficult here in the U.S. because of our litigious society. You go to Turkey, you go to Annecy, you go to Lake Garda. Blaze is in here right now.
That's what I
Blaze.
was gonna say.
There's so many places to go do SIV in Europe.
for you, Blaze.
Yeah, Blaze. So that's something I definitely would encourage you guys. If you want to, like Blaze just asked, what are you guys coming to Turkey to learn the Infinity?
Yes.
Ludeni's and Turkey, you've got
Yeah.
9,000 feet, I think it is, of altitude to play. We need to go, boys. Lake Garda is incredible. You know, there's so many incredible places. So
Blaze makes it look easy
he does make it look easy.
and sexy.
Excuse me. So, excuse me, guys.
You should ask Damage CC's question. That's my boy.
He says, so to answer your question about the SIV, my gut is always find someone you trust, find someone you respect. There are some good people in the U.S. There's some incredible people in Europe. Figure that out from there.
Mm-hmm.
What will Tucker Gott be doing in 10 years?
Tucker Gott doesn't even know.
How many kids will Tucker Gott have in 10 years?
Oh my God. At least 10.
Whoa.
Jacqueline.
Jacqueline's expression was worth it.
It's like a Stargate,
Let's
man.
ask Jacqueline the same question.
How many kids will Jacqueline have in 10 years?
How many animals?
Okay.
How many animals
cats.
John wants to know?
Yeah.
Snapped.
Way easier to
All the
answer.
animals.
John just made this question way easier. Having Jacqueline off screen, being able to ask
Full
her how
dodge,
many
I
kids was
think
way
that
more
was.
fun than animals. Jeez. Skyflex says, I just got here. Eric looks like he needs some rest. Yeah, I've been sick, guys. I literally spent the day in bed, got up, and came here to do this podcast. And I was worried it was last for like 20 minutes, and I was not going to be able to make it through anymore. But we've maintained.
Killing it.
You took
Killing
me
it.
for a ride in your car. It was fantastic.
I did take you for a ride in my car. You need to buy my car. I won't need it after March.
Tucker's gonna offer it up for training. I mean, for a T-shirt. I'm gonna buy a T-shirt and walk away with your car.
All right, so I have a 2017 Toyota 86 with a JDL turbo kit and a full custom exhaust from what's it called? It was expensive.
It's
Not
nice.
the titanium one. It has 17,000 miles on it.
Tucker's dad's
Oh.
making 10 cats.
Heavy 17,000 miles.
No. I don't drive like that.
Oh, you never drive like that?
I literally, you can ask
Wait, so
everybody.
You're admitting to something that I don't know about.
I never drive like that.
Okay.
So
yeah.
we will do it. We will do
It was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of smoke.
Yeah.
We will do
Joking.
something. We'll do something for you on a T-shirt. I'm going to sell you a really good T-shirt.
Put all this out.
I would love an Aviator T-shirt.
John says he's going to cut this out
If you
later.
have Aviator T-shirts for sale, I will buy plenty.
So here's the deal.
Especially
Actually,
if they come with a car.
we just ordered. I believe it's 600 600 new Aviator t-shirts,
Dang.
including 8 new designs,
Thumbs up.
or 7 new designs. They should be here in the next couple weeks. And we've been working with an awesome artist. Her name's Hannah. She has been doing tons of really cool, actually like hand-drawn designs. Really cool stuff.
That's cool.
Like
Not
almost
that cool. No.
We're
Can't
not
top it.
quite that cool, but close to that. Let's see. We got some more questions coming in. When someone gets out of training, how do you find places to fly from Damage?
That's a difficult question.
I'll tell you how
Because-
you get lucky and Damage is your friend. He only lives 20 minutes from you. He shows you a really nice airport.
You know this guy?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Good boy Tom.
The other option is if you train at Aviator, we connect you with local pilots.
Yeah, I think that's the best answer is local pilots.
One of them is an aviator. Well, they're both aviator. The one's a Alliance school.
Oh, really?
They are aviator.
Yeah.
I'm the very lucky guy.
Yeah, we're very blessed. I mean, we've trained so many people here, and now as we amplify our training between us and the Alliance schools, there's probably well over 1,000 students we've trained. We
Yeah.
trained over 400 here. Next year we'll train half of that again, more than half of that again. So like we have this family. I mean, we have this group. But like, I mean, we're having Thanksgiving dinner on Thursday. It's not a joke. Like it really is a family. And so
They welcomed me immediately.
yeah,
I'll
they're
say
like,
that. All I showed up with was my wing.
did they hate you for winning Tucker's?
Probably this much.
Probably that much.
But they're also egging me on and jealous.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's awesome. So in all seriousness, the giveaway for the car is happening.
I will buy 10 t-shirts.
He will buy 10 t-shirts. And Derek will win because he's the luckiest son of a gun.
Champion.
Craig Taylor says, has Tucker ever run out of gas while flying in a cornfield with a photographer? Oh, Craig.
That's an oddly specific.
It's very
question.
specific. Do you remember?
It's not ringing a bell.
Oshkosh this year. This guy.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
I finally ran out of gas.
Yeah, you posted
Yeah.
that video.
And there was... No, I didn't post that video. John posted that
I saw
video.
the video. Good work, John.
That was oddly specific, Craig.
Yeah.
I did finally run out of gas without being on purpose. That sucked.
How tall was the corn? I don't remember.
It was actually not bad. So I was over the 6-foot corn, and I made it to the
Right.
2-foot corn. So it was no problem.
Good deal.
Yeah, maybe 6 inches where I landed, actually.
Yeah.
It was no factor except for the fact that I soaked my jeans. Like, my pants were completely soaked. Basically, nipples down was wet.
He peed.
It was nipples down. Yeah. Because I had to walk through the corn the whole way back. It was brutal. And then I sat there trying to start the motor for like 10 minutes and realized that
It was out of
I
fuel.
didn't have any gas.
Oops.
Because it kept like, brrr, brrr, what's
heck is
wrong with this thing? You know? Oh, well. All right. Out of all the gliders you guys have experienced, which one would you fly without hesitation as the most fun flying? Which is switch screens for me, Nina?
I'm gonna go with the free ride.
Really?
Just as an all-around fun wing.
I'm going to go like super, super anti-hero here.
Mojo.
Mojo!
Yeah. I don't get the nice laminar winds you guys get down here where you can like pull off cool Mojo stunts though.
Yeah, because like my thing is, even with a crappy air,
Mm-hmm.
I'm far more likely to fly if I have a Mojo.
Right.
Like, far more likely. Like, I mean, you and I have done some stuff over the years. Tucker and I have had some flying experiences that no one should ever have. We've had those together. We've shared those moments. I would rather have been flying a Mojo at Stun and Fun this year than the free ride.
Yeah, for sure.
I would rather have been flying a Mojo. A lot of the times that we've flown together, actually. I'm trying to think through like really terrible air that we've flown in.
I don't know if you were up that night, but the one time at the Martins farmhouse before Oshkosh
Oh, yeah. We got
in the morning.
crap
when it was-
house.
Yeah,
that
trash.
day. Yeah, that was really bad. There was one time that we flew and I switched wings with Doran. So I was on the Hadron XX, he was on my Viper.
Mm-hmm.
And it looked really pretty. It wasn't pretty. There have been plenty of experiences where like I really wish I was on any wing but the wing I'm flying.
Yeah.
Because like that wing in particular I hated. But yeah, I love the free ride. If it's nice conditions, free ride is my favorite wing, hands
At
down.
least decent.
Yeah, if it's decent. Even if it like, I mean, I flew the other night. No one else flew, and I flew, and it was rowdy, but I felt confident on the free ride. It was literally like
Yeah.
Mojo or free ride. Which one do I grab?
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't windy enough for the mojo, so.
Not to put you on the spot, did you ever discuss your experience at Lycoming?
I haven't. I haven't discussed that.
That was one experience that further impressed me with the free ride, I guess.
Yeah, so we're flying in Lycoming. This is, man. You guys are getting the behind the scenes, y'all.
Behind the scenes.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
Coming out.
Jim Chatwin says embarrassing content. I'm sorry that you're embarrassed, Jim. If
Really, like, he's a crush on Jack.
He loves Jacqueline.
Oh.
He's heard us ever tie with you guys.
Poor guy.
Oh, I'm really
That's
sorry
not
that
gonna
you're in love
happen.
with Jacqueline. I don't blame you. I love her too. She's pretty great.
On a different note, a couple people want to know what wing Jacqueline flies.
Jacqueline's flying a Roadster 3. It's a fantastic wing, a 22 in the prettiest colors they make it in.
For a free ride, though.
You ready for? She says she's ready for a free ride. We will
Sign her
order the
up.
first free ride 11 for you.
Yeah, I was gonna
Jacqueline.
say, what size are we talking?
I have to ask you before I can sell you a free ride.
Just
All right,
fly
so
tuckers?
to go back to Lycoming, we did a flight performance on Friday, kind of a practice performance for the sponsors, and we had some really nasty air all day. We'd flown to schools, had some rowdy crap flying to the school and back. You didn't fly with us, that's
No,
right.
I just observed from the ground.
Oh,
Happy to be
dude.
on the ground.
But they
Dude,
still did
it-
infinites.
It was like full power. No, this is the third school. The third
Okay.
school was the worst. Full power, still going down.
Yeah.
Almost into the corn, and then out of that, straight up at idle, and it was only a mile and a half to get back, but it was rowdy. It was really challenging. And then that evening, they asked us to do a performance, so we evaluated the weather. We're all like, it's windy, wind's coming from behind the mountain. It might be challenging,
Yeah.
but we can try it. And it was challenging.
Mm-hmm.
And you and I went to stack hold, and I'm cruising around behind you, and I had about a 70% deflation.
Yeah, what, like 200 feet maybe?
I was maybe 200 feet, maybe a little lower, and it was one of those situations where I'm actively flying anyway. So I'm trimmed to half of the white line, so I could stay with you because I'm fast on my wing, because I'm fat. And I'm actively flying. It's 5 o'clock in the afternoon, but it's blowing 16-ish.
Right over the hill.
Right over the hill.
Rotorville.
Everyone else is flying great. There's been zero issue, and there was no problems. And I'm following you. I'm in the hold. I'm following you. I'm right off your wing. I'm literally it's smooth enough. I might step on his wing. Like, you know, it's like we like to mess around out there. All of a sudden, I get crap housed. Is probably the best way I can put it. My legs fly out above my head. The wing deflates 60 to 80% of it. Just boom, gone. Wing's gone. I fall back. I kept it from failing again. I was able to bury both brakes, flap it out, get the wing back in control, jump on radio. I was like, abort, abort, abort. Let's get on the ground, because there was no prediction for it, and that's what that's why I choose a Mojo or a Spider or something safer than a free ride, because it's going to give you so much feedback in advance before you have a big deflation.
And if you get the big deflation,
it's going to react much more positively. Like,
Yeah.
I had to work for mine, and I mean, I did good.
it looked very nice.
It looked
For
like
what
it
it
was
was.
almost on purpose. Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't on purpose, guys. there was no nothing extra in my pants, but it was definitely one of those.
Shart.
There's no sharts. There's no sharts. Dang it! I had my kids there. There's no sharting allowed. All right. We have 2 more questions we're going to answer tonight. We have a question from Nunya. Says, what do you think about call signs for PPG pilots, and do you have one?
I don't think I have one.
You don't have one.
Yeah,
And-
it's weak.
You should stick around for a few extra
I
days.
think it's called Jacqueline's boyfriend.
It is Jacqueline's boyfriend. That is the technical
I
call
hope it
sign.
doesn't stick.
What is
He
it?
hopes it doesn't
I hope
stick.
it doesn't
He
stick.
doesn't
I
like.
hope it does.
He does not like.
No,
doesn't
not
wanna
that part.
say
Not that part.
Jacqueline's
Just the
boyfriend?
name. Just
Oh,
the
there's
name.
at least 20 people
you're
in this
saying it
chat
should
who would
be-
love to stay.
are you
Who would love to
saying-
be Jacqueline's boyfriend.
You're saying it should be Jacqueline's husband.
Oof.
Oh,
Oof.
oh, I like
nothing,
it.
Nothing implied.
Jacqueline's husband has a nice ring.
Ooh.
I think we should change the subject.
If you would like, if
Jacqueline
if
wants
you'd
to
like
change
go
the
shop for
subject.
some rings, Jacqueline, I have a great jeweler here in town. I'd be happy to introduce you to. Hey, Mama Gott, are you still in the chat?
Yeah, where does Mama Got lay in on this?
All right, Vertical Line says new Tucker merch. We know Aviator's coming out with new merch. Tucker.
We're working on it right now.
What's your ETA?
Sometime soon.
Art T-shirt.
Can I have one?
Of course. We're working on calendars, which is cool.
Calendars.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think that's neat.
Are they nude?
Only the
Just the
top tier
underwear.
ones.
It's the underwear launch.
One of the top tier ones. So we did a crazy thing. So I wanted to go a little bit nuts with our Patreon, which we actually, guys, thank you so much for those of you guys who joined our Patreon. We like even Nell's flying video is not a Patreon video. I wanted to make just the stuff that's based around our trip, the Patreon videos, kind of like you guys have done with Van Life. We have $100 tier on our Patreon, and one of the guys you've met, he was here today and yesterday. He's one of our $100 Patreons.
Nice.
Mike?
No, not Mike. I'm not going to call him out.
Okay.
But he's going to be able to join us on the adventure. So we're going to fly him out to he can fly out to meet us in Las Vegas and come for a couple of days of bush flying and paramotoring, that kind of thing. So we kind of made our spread a lot bigger than yours. And we've got some guys who are $25, some guys who are $5. And I think I have $1. I don't know if I have a $1 tier or not. But the whole goal was just to bring people together behind a trip. And we followed your lead because this is not like an Aviator thing where it's like benefiting Aviator. This is me taking my family and doing something that I want to do because I think it's going to inspire people. And I'm really excited about it. And it's been really neat because we went for last podcast, we had 2 patrons, and now we have a bunch more. And it's really, really cool. And it's it's not even about the money. We make $150 a video, you know? Which, if you knew how much we're about to pay our videographer. By the way, if anyone knows a filmmaker who would like a job, we're looking for a full-time filmmaker. We'll pay them well.
No, we won't.
Nina says no, we won't. I will pay them more than I pay myself.
No, we won't.
No, we
Yes,
No,
I
we
will. If they're
won't.
the right person, I will.
Wait, if you had Tucker.
I pay well, Tucker's not that good.
Oh.
He sucks.
His face was
Yeah,
priceless.
I don't think so.
Tucker's excellent.
Yeah.
I wish I could afford a Tucker. All right, guys, we have lots of great people in the chat. It has been 2 flippin' hours, which is our time limit. Charlie Walsh says Tucker's banana hammocks. He's looking forward to those. I have questions.
In the calendar.
If you actually want the banana hammocks from Tucker, the pre-worn ones are more expensive, but they are available at reddit.com. You put them on your cat, right?
My cat.
Yeah. Dustin Brace asked, will we ever do a monthly instead of per video? No, we won't do monthly, but you can set a monthly cap. So if you want to do a monthly cap, same thing with Tucker. If you want to sponsor 1 video per month, that's totally fine. So very easy, Dustin.
Yeah.
By the way, Dustin's going to be flying with you guys. He's coming to train with us, I think in January or March. He lives in southern Pennsylvania. Really good dude.
Neat.
Southern Pennsylvania is where I live.
I know it's where you live. I think you met Dustin at,
Did I now?
very possibly.
Ooh.
He has a ginger wife. She's pretty awesome. So. These guys
The
are all
wives over here didn't like that.
the wives. I'm sorry that we have a brunette and a blonde. I apologize. My ginger wife's not here to defend herself.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you very much for being here, Tucker. It's always been a pleasure.
Thanks for having me, man.
I hope this is the best podcast you've ever been on.
Don't tell Anthony.
Don't tell Anthony. Wow.
I
See, here's
told
the
him
thing.
his was the best.
I would tell Anthony that
Hey,
his was the
Anthony.
best, but I've never been invited to be on it.
Oh, that's harsh.
He even came to Lake Wales and invited the other Eric on it.
Wow.
I
don't know about
recognize the
Anthony
fact
now.
that I have not
Other
o-
Eric.
ogled his Wrangler-clad bottom as much as I probably should have because he's such a beautiful man. I also have only offered him a job 3 or 4 times. So clearly I don't deserve to be on his podcast. I respect it. I respect it. I'm just kidding. Anthony, we love you.
Love you, man.
Dick, so glad it's you. So glad you're here. Can't wait to teach Greg in the next freebie from Tucker.
By wing.
Are we going to do by a wing, Greg? Are we going to do another giveaway?
I want to.
You want to?
Another one.
Another
As
one.
That guy would say.
All right, another giveaway. Let's talk offline. We may do another giveaway for a class in July. We may do a giveaway for our 3rd location.
Ooh.
Leanne needs more T-shirts.
Leanne does need more T-shirts. If Leanne wins, guys, it's not rigged.
Don't hate.
Uh,
Don't hate.
Actually, that would be like
Awesome.
That would be so cool.
Lightning.
The internet would
Striking
break.
twice.
The internet would break.
Yeah.
By the way, have you received your big check yet for the warp review?
Oh yeah.
You got that in?
You'll see it in the
Yeah.
back.
You'll see it in the back. Okay,
When I
good.
get back home.
Good. That 6 foot large check
Yeah.
for that
The
review.
Lamborghini.
So many zeros.
The Lamborghini. So many zeros. Guys, always a pleasure to have you. We'll look forward to next week on the Ask Aviator podcast. This was episode number 30. If you enjoyed the video, please leave us a comment, a like. If you enjoyed the podcast itself, leave us a review on iTunes or wherever you find your favorite podcasts. Tucker, thank you for joining us. Derek, thank you as well. And we'll see you all
Thank you.
very soon. Goodbye.